Wow. This, ladies and gentlemen, is just 3.5 hours. How you doing? I think Hank is here too. How you doing? So I wanted just to give you a quick update, talk about the trip over here, our experience in the morning, and that's about it because we haven't had a lot of time to do much of anything. We arrived here at around 9:30, 10 a.m., 10 p.m. at night. The rent-a-car was pretty smooth. We got to the hotel, went straight to bed. We woke up, ate breakfast, and that's all pretty much we got to do, except go to the pool down there. Kanai and Leo just got back up from the pool, and I'm just going to talk about it and show you a little bit around, give you a quick introduction in where the heck is Guam. A lot of Americans might not even know that question, but this is part of America. It's one of the territories out in the far Pacific that's been a place that I think that a lot of Americans have visited before, but it's so close to Japan. We'll talk about that in this live stream, but let me just kind of zoom through the beach here. It's just incredibly beautiful. The colors, it reminds me very much of like the Maldives. That's turquoise blue. Maybe Maldives might be, I don't know. They're both pretty comparable in my mind. Looks like Hawaii, Philippines is really close. Joy, if I yell or wave, would you be able to see me? The flight in was really good. Again, only 3 hours and 30 minutes. Like, you get one meal and then you land. It's pretty good. It was pretty quick, I thought, to get here. Guam is way south of Japan. Well, it's a lot further than Okinawa, but not that much further, really, if you look at it on the map, which I'll show you right now. So for those that are wondering where exactly we are, there's Japan right there and the big globe marble that we call Earth. And from Tokyo, which is in the center, the underwater crevice there is Guam. And you just have to follow it down southeast, and you're pretty much in the middle of the Pacific here. This is Tumon Bay, Tumon. It's so beautiful. Check it out. Look at the colors of the water here. And it's so close to the airport. That's what really shocked me. I got in the rent-a-car and I was at the hotel in 10 minutes. I drove right past the Kmart, which is one of the last Kmarts in the world. Look at that big globe. Look how beautiful Earth is. But look how big the Pacific is. So here's the continental United States. There's Hawaii. And you have to go pretty far to get to Guam. And you can see that blue spot is where we are in Guam. Just southeast of Tokyo, and then boom, we're at this beautiful hotel called the Crown Plaza Resort. It's part of IHG, which is a bunch of like the Holiday Inn and stuff, and I have a lot of points here, but it was actually pretty affordable. I was surprised that the flight was only like 30% full. I was like, well, maybe because the flight was a little bit pricey. I used my miles, so I was able to get a pretty good deal on the flight here. Even though I used, like 70,000 miles, I still had to pay a few $100s to get the tickets. I don't know why. That's A for you. But it was, in the end, it's kind of all worth it because you just wanted to get away from here. Now, Kanai has a really strong connection, my wife, to the island. She came here as a kid 20 years ago. A lot of Japanese do travel to Guam because it's so close. It's a foreign country. It's closer than Hawaii. There were so many deals back in the day. Nowadays, because the US dollar is so strong, it's like this weird time here. The economy in China, a lot of Chinese tourists had been coming over here for, I guess, the last 7 or 8 years. I'll learn more about this when I talk to people that live here in Guam and meet the tourism office here. But a lot of tourists from China were coming here over the last, I guess, 7, 8 years when the economy was so prosperous. Koreans as well, and Taiwanese, and Hong Kong, and Singapore. A lot of people come here because it's pretty close to the area, to Asia here. It's so beautiful, but it's also the United States, which makes it really unique. They use the US dollar here. English is the language on the island. So I think it's very convenient for people from the continental US, but it looks really far on the map. But what I'd really love to see is more Americans come out here that are coming to visit Japan, that maybe want to make a trip to one of these places that you normally wouldn't go to. Like in New York, there's somebody swimming. Look how clear that water is. You normally wouldn't come to this place, because you might want to go to Okinawa or some of the other islands, which are going to dive into that culture. That's one of the reasons I wanted to come here, because I love the Pacific Island culture. Sometimes we lose sight of it in the beauty that is out here in the Pacific, but there's a very deep culture on I believe on this island, and I'm gonna explore that with my son and my wife and over the next couple of days here. But I know UFO Bob's like, it's clear. I know the flight here was okay. I mean, United is pretty good, but the food was kind of questionable. I don't know. I hate to say, food was a little questionable. But it's a hot meal, so you can't really complain too much. You can see we just arrived in Guam, and we get a nice photo here. Well, that's the video of the photo, but it's nice to come in here. It's a very warm welcome, and because it's a pretty small airport. Well, it's a big airport, but it feels small when you arrive at 10 p.m. perhaps. It was really easy to get in and out in the morning. Just a couple of clips here you can see. They have a really nice breakfast was included because I was an IHG member and was able to get that in the package. So that's our view from breakfast here. Kind of chowing down. We came late, so there was not as much selection. And then I'm just going to let this play for a little bit here. We were at the pool about 30 minutes ago. You can see it's really, really pretty. But I could talk to you a little bit about what we want to do here. If you are living on Guam, on the islands, I would love to meet you, talk to you a little bit more about Guam, the island, and some of the history and the culture, and learn more from you guys. I'll be, Leo, and of course meet you. We'll be at the Wednesday night market. Everybody knows what that is. It's not too far away from Tumon. Of course, it's on Wednesday, which is tomorrow night, and we're going to be talking, eating, and Leo wants to get some coconuts, and I want to eat as much as I can, but I want to learn about the culture here. So that's, I think, what's really curious to me, what I'm really interested in, the history and the culture of the island. Leo's like playing on the railing here. I have to be daddy too here. Leo, please sit down over there.
Dada,
Yeah. Yeah, I saw it too, but sit down because you can't. I tried this green slide here before Leo did, just to see how safe it was. And it was pretty safe. Actually, it's kind of scary. I haven't done a water slide since high school, maybe. I like how the 360 just kind of did that, this 360 camera. The water's nice and warm here. Leo did it one time and he didn't want to do it again. He was kind of freaked out by it because it's pretty hardcore. But we'll probably eat dinner here. Looking forward to seeing Hank as well. You're gonna check out he has a magic show inside the hotel here, which is awesome. So that's gonna be really awesome. And we were looking for Hank at the airport too. I don't know why. We're like, are you Hank? No. We were just kind of messing around though, but that was fun. I'll take you around the island, and tomorrow I'll have another report from I'll be driving around showing you maybe a little bit about the traffic driving around here. It's a good idea to have a rent-a-car here. This is Kanai's. She hasn't been on the island in about 20 years. So, at Saigo wa itsu? 20 nen mai? She came here 3 times, and the last time was like a long time ago. 20 years ago. She's just a kid. It's very Hawaiian, but different too. That's the feeling, Teresa. I think that the culture is very different, and there's a lot of similarities, but there's a lot of differences with all the islands on the Pacific. So I'm so curious to learn more about Guam. When I was on Chichijima, the island, you can see there's Leo taking on the slide. When I was in Chichijima, Ogasawara, which is part of Japan, they had a zip code that was San Francisco, right? It used to be America until 1968, which is crazy. And then I was talking to the old timers, everybody over the age of like 55 or 60, and they all had this connection to the United States, to the military after World War II. A lot of them said that they were, there wasn't so much freedom when the Japanese were there, and Americans brought that with them. That's where Papa Bush, George Bush's older George Bush, who's now gone. His plane was shot down right off the coast of Chichijima. He was picked up by a U.S. sub. His other flymates were not as fortunate, unfortunately, and that's a story that for another time perhaps. 360 camera is pretty cool. But the Pacific Islands are just fascinating to me. I know Hank, right? We were only down at the pool for like 20, 30 minutes, right?
Hi.
Do you like it here?
Yeah, I like it here.
Yeah, we don't want to go home, Hank. Can we just stay? Well, let's talk about it. We'll talk about it. I'm deeply, deeply interested in learning more about the Pacific Islands. I think there's some YouTubers that have gone around some of these islands. It's not cheap to get to. But I'm very curious about some of the other territories around Guam, as some of the islands. A lot of them have World War II historical significance, which I'm fascinated about, to learn about that, as we have the 80th anniversary or memory of the ending of World War II is coming up this year. So there's a lot of events that are happening around the islands, as well as on Japan, marking that, which was a very good. It's a very tough war, but thank goodness it ended, because it was an awful war. We don't want to see that anymore. But this is the 80th year since that time, a very historical point in world history. So for me, Guam plays a part in all of that. Back 80 years ago, this was a different place, In fact, the development of Guam has been fascinating to see over the last, I've been able to see it on YouTube, but over the last even 15, 20 years, as more Asian countries became more prosperous, more tourism came to the island, and it's really, we'll see how that has changed it. EK writes in here some great history you're sharing. Absolutely. And I'm hoping I get more time to come back here and spend some time looking at the culture and the history of Guam and the surrounding islands, as well as some of the other islands. I have friends that are YouTubers, pretty big YouTubers, that have a lot of, when I say big, I mean a lot of subscribers. And they have been, my friend Joe was just at Tuvula, which if you've ever seen a .tv website, that .tv is for Tuvula, which is an island in the Pacific that's apparently sinking as well. So like these places I would love to go to. So I'm thinking about maybe making YouTube content on Pacific Islands, and why not start with the friendliest of them all, perhaps Guam? Because look, I had about 30 or 40 people, probably more than that, message me. Several of them sent like so many amazing messages telling me all the highlights that I could do, but it's not enough time to see all that stuff. So we're just pressed out. I'm wishing I'd come here for 5 or 6 nights instead of 2 or 3. We're here for 3 nights. So I'm gonna have to come back here, but this is just kind of a getaway. Actually, after I did the hitchhiking thing in 2017, I said I was gonna take Kanai here, but we never did. So in a way, this is getting back to a memory that a lot of you might have. When I was hitchhiking Japan from Wakkanai to Kagoshima, or Kagoshima to Wakkanai, which is the entire country of Japan, I was able to get, what was it, like, I don't know, quite a bit of money from the Kickstarter, from selling the Blu-rays. And the purpose of that was to I guess because was, well, I'm a YouTuber, so I wanted to get some money to bring Kanai out here and build up the channel. And I was able to do that, but I saved up the money that's been sitting in the bank now for quite a long time, and now finally we are here. So that's in a way why we are here. It's a long time coming, but we also brought Leo, who is absolutely loving this place. Right now, they are shooting, and this is live, by the way, everybody. They're shooting some kind of Japanese drama. So I don't know who is down there, but like I kept walking back and forth here, and they're telling me like stop here. They should put somebody by the door, But because it's so windy, they're holding up a lot of these reflector things and the umbrellas, so it's not that easy for them to be filming in this wind. But I don't know who it is, but it looks like it's some stars down there. I'll have to ask if this is a Netflix thing. We're gonna figure it out. I might be a background character. You'll see this guy looking confused, doing a pinball back and forth, figuring out if I should go inside or outside. But I eventually made it at the pool, because you got to go past there to get to the pool over there. It's crazy. I can't believe we're on Guam. So for me, this is the place I've been wanting to come to for a very long time. And for Kanai, this is a 20-year, long time no see reunion. And for Leo, this is his first time. We're still unpacking. But any questions here? about Guam or anything? Because this is a live stream. I see a lot of you coming and writing. So we're actually going to go to drive around a little bit, maybe find some lunch. Of course, when you have a breakfast buffet, you eat too much. Like I didn't on purpose. I think they had some a little bit of French toast and some eggs, and I had some. They had some local dishes, I think, which were really good, savory. But we're gonna go out to lunch and see what we can find. Drive around. I have a car. I'll show you that tomorrow in the live stream. Give you an idea. I do have a, Docomo, if you have a Japanese phone, you can get this Giga plan on arrival, so I can do data roaming. It was $20 for 3 days, which I think is pretty affordable. I don't know how much data I can use, but it allows me to use this as a GPS to get around the island as well. So that's about all. Would love to see the meet and greet. If there's a signal, I'll do a little bit of it live, but it might be a good idea just to film it and then upload it into 4K. Because I saw we had a meetup in Montreal, and I think I uploaded that, and the quality was so much better. And the one thing I love about filming the meetups is that I get the chance to look back on it, and I could see how we've all kind of changed over time. And I did a meetup in India that was also uploaded, I believe. So I did meetups in Munich, of course, every time we went to the Christmas market there, and I did meetups in New York on Times Square. And these are great to upload, I think, but also doing it live allows you also who are watching it to feel like you're a part of it as well. It's really fun. It's really fun. You don't know who's going to come out, but my experience has been, especially on islands, it really does feel like a family. The population of Guam is not, it's bigger than I thought it was, but it's big enough where people don't know each other. But it's small enough where it does feel very friendly. At least the last 20 or 18 hours have felt that way. I want to go to Tinian. They have an event that's coming up. I'm going to see about that, but I'd love to go there. I think they're going to be exploring more tourism over there. That's where some bombers were launched in World War II. There's an American side to the history as well. I went to Pearl Harbor when I visited Hawaii a couple of years ago, and I have video on that. I'd like to see more of the American side because I think I've seen so much of the Japanese side, especially in 1944 and 45 when there were a lot of harsh bombings going on in the country, the devastation, the history that was lost as a result of that. But I would love to see more of the Pacific Islands, the American side, explore that. Gives us a chance to remember our grandfathers as well. A lot of them have fought in the war on both sides, the Japanese and the Americans. Kanai's dad was, did he parachute in?
What?
How did he arrive in the Philippines? By parachute?
No, ship.
He arrived by ship?
Yeah.
But then everybody died, you said?
Later island he went.
Oh, yeah.
Philippines.
So one of the islands in the Philippines, and everyone in his group died, right?
No, just like 5 or 3 people
Survived.
survived.
Like 3 people survived, and they're just hiding in the jungle, right?
Yeah, then yeah.
Yeah. So they arrive. It lasts like less than a day, and then everyone is gone except for a couple of them, and they're hiding in the jungle because they didn't want to be there. Like they didn't know what was really going on, right?
He said he ate some coconut.
And he ate some coconuts for survival.
Yeah.
It's her grandfather.
Yeah.
So my grandfather fought in the European front, and her grandfather was in the Philippines. All this stuff happened so quickly to them, like for the people that were in his group, that nothing. So it was awful, some of the stuff that happened in the Philippines, but his group had they didn't last very long. So basically he's just hiding out in the jungle, and the first time the Americans came, he just threw up his hands, and they gave him chocolate and eggs and all this stuff that he could never get, and was so happy, and he fell in love with America like instantly. So then when he found out that I was American, there was like these memories of going back when he was rescued.
Okay. I told you.
Very some interesting history, but we're kind of connected by these islands as a result of it, so I'd love to learn more about it.
Can you sit?
My grandfather went to Guam for a short time when going to New Guinea. This is from EK, where he got an eye infection in the jungle and went blind. And ooh, sorry to hear that. Gotta be careful in the jungles, you know. There's some stuff out there. But yeah, over the course of the next few years, I think I might try to focus on some of the Pacific Islands. Maybe even start another channel I was thinking about doing, because you know I'm deeply interested in Japan. But there's so many people that I've seen this making Japanese content. I'm never going to stop doing that. But I think it might be interesting to explore other places. And the one thing that I've learned, and you can just look out the window. We brought some Legos for Leo, so he's preoccupied. It's amazing he can put these things together like an engineer. The most amazing thing to me, though, is like, you know, every island is very unique, very special. Each one has a local culture and a lot of history to it. And I think for a lot of the YouTubers that do make the content, we do it from a perspective of tourism. But I think if I can make videos that show the history and the background of some of the beauty of the islands, you kind of understand what you're coming to visit as a tourist. And then you have more respect for the local cultures. And I think that's something maybe that is kind of lacking on YouTube, on the internet. So maybe that's something that I explore over the next couple of years. And I would love to talk to people. And that's why I'm so happy to meet with people here in Guam, talk about this. Hopefully I don't get an eye infection like EK's grandfather, because, you know, as beautiful as it is, it's also as dangerous too. There can be some dangers here, like coconut crabs. If you see one, they're built like tanks. Once I see one, I'm gonna freak out because I've never seen a coconut crab before. I wonder if there's any underneath that tree maybe. So I'm gonna get in the rent-a-car, we're gonna drive around. I'll have more to report to you tomorrow as the Japanese drama seems to... That was a Japanese TV drama, kanai? Yeah, because he's saying mamonaku. He said mamonaku, meaning soon they're gonna start. I was like, Nihonjin desu ka? Hi, Nihonjin. I should ask them what they were filming. Yeah, but my point is, if you're American, this is probably worth coming to visit, because not a lot of tourists, well, there are mostly tourists from Asia, but not so many. My flight was only 30% full. And if you are American, using your miles and swinging out to Guam for a few days, this is pretty awesome, man. You come in and it's like America. Like I'm still shocked like I was when I went to Hawaii. Hawaii's a little bit different, but I came in here, I'm like, wait, this is Guam, but it's America. It's like two things at once, I think. So it feels like a different country, but it's not. And it is, but it isn't, you know? And I'm gonna explore a lot of this over the next couple of days. So thanks everybody for the tips and the help, and I'll get back to you real soon. If those that are joining us live, I believe he fought in the Battle of Bunagona, where he ended up getting the... Thanks for... that's really interesting when you meet people whose family have been in... Because I listened to those Ian Toll audiobooks. They're quite long and they're very detailed, and to hear about each one of the battles, and you know, when you get firsthand information from people that were there, heard stories from people that were there, it's really fascinating. Stuff that we shouldn't forget. We should always remember the people that came before us. All right, guys, take care. I'll see you in another live stream real soon. But we are here. We're on Guam. It's pretty incredible. All right, guys. Mata ne. See you on Wednesday night. I guess around 5:30, 6 o'clock we'll be there. Probably there for about an hour and a half or so. So see you at the Wednesday night market.